Hi, let's talk for a moment about one slide. The last couple of videos have been a little bit long. I want to define what a data supply chain is. I have a single slide that I'd like to talk to. This slide kind of outlines the 4 different kinds of data supply chains that are very common in every organization. The first data supply chain that was created really is the finance or accounting data supply chain. It was made to keep track of the organization, the basic level as we've been talking about so far. The heart of it has the general ledger. Feeding data to the general ledger are things that are coming to be called accounting rules engine. Didn't have that term maybe 10 years ago, but more and more we're hearing that term defining the data that gets into the general ledger and accounting rules engine. The outputs and reports start with the financial statements, can expand to many other different kinds of reports. The general ledger, though, did not answer all the questions that were needed in the organization. So another data supply chain that was made after that was the MIS, or Performance Management System. This system is more geared towards evaluating employees and performance, not necessarily external financial reporting, but internal needs of performance management, understanding how the organization is doing, evaluating employees and their performance towards those goals. Another data supply chain that was created after that, become more common in the last 20 years, is the risk data supply chain. Risk data becomes important as a forecasting mechanism to understand more what's going to happen in the future, possible outcomes. Risk has a much lower level of detail than the finance data supply chain. The general ledger couldn't supply the data that's needed for risk, so they had to develop their own data supply chain. And more recently, we see many more needs for understanding customers and customer analytics. So we have the customer data supply chain. Customer reporting becomes another approach to the problem. A data supply chain is created whenever the business events or transactions are turned into a balance. When a balance is made, that defines a data supply chain. A balance answers specific questions that they're designed to answer, and a balance is only valid as of a particular point in time. You'll notice that because there are different balances and different interfaces to feed to the balance-based repositories for each one of these data supply chains, we often find in most organizations, almost universally, that these reports that are generated out of each of these data supply chains don't reconcile. It's difficult to get them to agree in some way. The data supply chain, because of its nature of taking transactions to specific balances for specific reports, often do not reconcile.